think the world was gonna end at midnight. Wrap this year up. Let's just not bother with another one. See, sometimes you have to think logically to get over anxious thoughts. Sometimes you just gotta make it make sense, because a lot of stuff that we overthink is just thoughts in our head. We just gotta make it make sense. Make it make sense. But then when it doesn't make sense, I don't know what to tell you because I really don't know. I'm not there yet. Hey guys, it's Danielle Michelle. I am back with another podcast episode. In today's episode, it's not really like a lesson on anything. It's more just me talking about my thoughts to share, because a reason why I also started to Fix Your Thoughts was so that I was able to express the thoughts in my head, to get it out my head, to share with others and see if anybody can relate so I don't feel alone. But in today's episode, I'm going to talk about why I don't like the New Year's, which I want it to change. I don't want it to always be like that. But since my teen years and recently, I've always had like anxiety for the New Year's, and even other recent New Year's, I've cried at midnight, and then even after New Year's, I just always been in a rut. I don't want to say depression, but like I just get into like a sad phase or state for like a while sometimes. And don't get me wrong, I'm the type to have goals. I'm the type to be positive. I'm the type to always want to do good. But somehow in the New Year's, I don't know what happens. But let me try to explain, and hopefully you guys can relate, because and that's the reason why I'm kind of making this episode, so that you can relate. Let's dive into today's episode for me to explain my thoughts to you. Okay. Look, it's 333 on my phone. That's nice. You know how New Year's is a time for people to make goals, but then the sad part about it is like sometimes the goals you're writing down are the same goals that you wrote down last New Year's. And trust me, I'm the type to write down goals. I'm the type to be specific with my goals, and I'm for sure always excited to improve myself. I feel like that's always been me. I'm always trying to figure out what could I do to better myself in a way. And I feel like that mindset really started in college, because in high school, middle school, girl, I don't know what I was doing. I was just living life daily. I think it's because in high school and middle school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do as an adult, like as a career wise. But then when I figured it out, I was like full steam ahead. I don't know how that goes. But anyways, when you keep writing down the same goals that haven't been accomplished, I know for me, maybe for other people, you just get to a point where you just feel disappointed in yourself. And I feel like you lose trust in yourself, because the things that you kind of have control over with yourself, you're not doing it to help yourself. You might not have control over everything, but at the end of the day, you have control over you and what you're gonna work on and what you're gonna try to accomplish and go after, And the consistency is bad. Like when you consistently see what you want's not happening, well, for me, I get disappointed. And then as the year's ending, you're like, well, I still had a whole bunch of things that I wanted to do before the year ends, and then you just feel like you're running out of time. And that's how I feel, running out of time. But yeah, you could technically set goals to just do the new year, but it's like I want different goals for the new year so that I could just keep growing. I don't want to just be stagnant. So basically, one thing for the New Year's is that I just feel like it just ended up started being a lot of disappointment. And also, I think seasonal depression is like a thing too. I live in Florida, and it's always, I don't want to say always sunny because it rains, but it doesn't really get freezing cold where people stay inside for snow days. But I'm pretty sure seasonal depression is a thing, but maybe this can contribute to it in a way. I don't know. Let's say, for example, last year I was really sad around New Year's and Christmas, because I would work so many hours for long hours, and then at my job, these people would be yelling at me. Well, the people who like were guests and stuff like that, because they would want their tables and all that. So they were yelling at me, and I'm like, at least you're with your family. At least you get to eat with your family and be with your family, hang out. But I'm over here at work, working for you technically, and you're yelling in my face when I just want to be home with my family. Anyways. So that made me sad. There's been a couple times that I've actually cried on New Year's, or like at midnight when it strikes midnight, and then all of a sudden I have tears down my eyes. That's crazy. For the New Year's for 2020 turning into 2021, I remember it struck 12 o'clock and I was on FaceTime with my friend because I didn't want to cry, but then we ended up hanging up, and then after she hung up, I just cried because I was trying to hold it in, but then all the depressing thoughts just like came into my head, and I was like, let me just cry, let me just have a mental breakdown so that I could just feel better after crying, you know? And the year before that, 2019, turning into 2020, I was going through something. Somebody did me dirty. That's all I'm gonna say. Somebody did not treat me right. So, but yeah, I just remember thinking about that. Fireworks are going off, and then like as soon as it like struck 12 o'clock, like I just remember cutting the corner of the hallway in the house right here, and like I just ran to my room and like I was just crying. Like I couldn't hold back the tears. But yeah, I don't think any other New Year's I really cried at midnight, but and that's the thing too, like every New Year's I usually stay home. Like I don't go out to party because usually my dad has a prayer line, so we're usually home praying every night. But before those last two New Year's is LOL. Before then, I would feel like I'm running out of time because, like I said before, I would have these goals that I want to accomplish and then the time's running out. So I start to feel like when another new year happens, I feel like I just wasted the other year. I would just feel like I'm wasting time because I don't see what I want to see happen. I would just always think my days are numbered and that I'm not using my time wisely because all the goals and all the things I said that I wanted weren't coming out to play. So I just feel like I'm just wasting my time and like I don't want to feel like I'm wasting my time because time is something that you're not getting back, okay? Like once it keeps it's gone, okay? It's just gone when it's gone. But the ultimate main reason why I originally started to not like the new year was ready? Because it would freak me out that the world was ending. Yeah, I know. That's deep. It gets deep. I always thought if God wanted to take us, He would just be like, okay, wrap this year up. Let's just not bother with another one. Like, I literally would think that. And trust me, I know that nobody knows the hour, the day, the time, the minute, the month, the year that God's coming. I know it's in the Bible. It says nobody knows when He's coming. But then again, it all came from the year 2012. I don't know how old you are. I don't know when you're watching this, but when it was 2012, I'm pretty sure I was like 11 years old. No, I think I was 12 years old, turning 13. I don't know. But there was a whole thing. People were talking about that the world was gonna end when it hits 2012 and all that stuff. And I don't know why they thought that, but as a kid, I was like, what? The world ending? I was like, what? The world ending? Like, what? So basically, my whole teenage life up until now, kind of now, but like not really now because I've been trying to work on it, I would have anxiety for the New Year's because I would always think the world was gonna end at midnight. And then, of course, as I got older, I, of course, eventually learned, like, yeah, technically it's supposed to end eventually because Jesus is supposed to come. In a way, it wasn't true about 2012, but it was still kind of true that the world was going to end at some point and that we're living in the end days. Especially when you would see, like, the proof of, like, how we are in the end days. I'm like, okay, well, these are just facts that it's supposed to happen. We just don't know when it's going to happen. Like, that gives you anxiety. That makes you anxious. God says to cast all your anxiety onto Him. So here you go, Jesus, take it. So yeah, so basically I just grew up realizing that even if it's not 2012, that the end of the world was gonna come eventually, soon. Who knows when? I don't know when. Even if it wasn't New Year's, I started developing like anxiousness, like even throughout the year. Like let's say if the house is too quiet, but you're like, wait a minute, I have a household of 6 people. Why is it so quiet? We're loud. We're Jamaicans. Okay, we are loud. So whenever the house is quiet, I'm like, first of all, my parents wake up early. So why is the house this quiet? And of course, if the house is quiet, I get suspicious. I get suspicious because it's not adding up in my head. Whereas everybody, like, I'm not understanding. So I would get anxious throughout the year if there's random times where I don't see people who I normally would see at a certain time. Like, I don't know. What would help me throughout the years is building a relationship with God because how can He leave me? Like, how could you leave me, Jesus? No, we're not doing that. If I'm bothering Jesus 24/7, how you gonna leave me? Okay, we was like these. How you gonna leave me? If I'm making sure to build my relationship with God, then I feel like it kind of makes me feel more safe that I'm not gonna be the one left behind. Because who's trying to have that? Not me. So yeah, if I'm bothering Jesus 24/7, having conversations with Him about what to do with myself because I don't know what to do with my life. Okay, how could He say He never knew me? That would hurt. That really would hurt. I'm talking to you all the time about my life and how I don't know what I'm doing with myself. So but I still get anxious about that though. Because if He's the judge, I can't really judge myself saying I'm doing it right. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's more effort than just like the typical stuff. I mean, they say you believe in him, you trust in him, and you're saved and all that, but I feel like you always still need effort of like pursuing him and talking to him daily, and I don't know. But at the end of the day, he's the judge and he could say what's right or what's wrong and if I make it or not, you know? But like, I want to make it. Like, I'm just gonna make that clear. Clear. I want to make it. But yeah, like I said, every New Year's I would be home with my parents, with my sisters, because my dad would have a prayer line. So it would start at 9 o'clock, and then on the prayer line, everybody would pray until like 12 o'clock. We would write like our goals, or I forgot. We would write like a list of stuff that we don't want in the new year, and then symbolically like rip it up at 12 o'clock, and then we have a list of stuff that we do want. During the prayer line, when after praying and it got closer to 12, we would have a countdown for when it would strike 12 to like tear the piece of paper. Imagine the countdown that everybody else is doing is a totally different countdown to you in your head. Well, to me in my head. So technically, in the back of my head, I'm thinking the countdown means, yep, God's about to wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody else, and this is all around the world, everybody counts down until 12 o'clock to say Happy New Year. So everybody does that. But for me, I'm like, here we go. It's about to wrap up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this is how I got through that part of the countdown to 12 o'clock. Like, for example, if I'm in Florida and it struck 12, then guess what? In California, it's not 12 o'clock yet. It's what, 9 o'clock? I don't know. And then even if it strikes 12 o'clock in Florida, guess what? Isn't Australia like a whole day ahead or something? Or China? I don't freaking know. They're like in a whole different, you know what I'm saying? Not everywhere in the world is turning 12 o'clock the same time for the New Year's. So then I'm just like, if God's gonna take us, He's not gonna take us by time zone. He's not gonna do that. He's not gonna be like, Eastern time, let's go. Central time, let's go. He's not gonna wait each hour to do that. So I don't think He will. I mean, He can do whatever He wants, but like, I don't think He would. You know what I'm saying? The whole world is in a whole different time. So that's how I got over the whole phase of, it's 12 o'clock, here we go. Honey, it's not 12 o'clock everywhere. So that's what helped me. See, sometimes you have to think logically to get over anxious thoughts. Sometimes you just gotta make it make sense, you know? Because a lot of stuff that we overthink is just thoughts in our head. We just gotta make it make sense. Make it make sense. But then when it doesn't make sense, I don't know what to tell you because I really don't know. I'm not there yet. But now I'm gonna compare then to now. I'm gonna get into why 2021 started late for me. Okay, compared to the past versus now, the new year for 2021, it basically started late for me because I just basically started the year feeling like I was running out of time. I just felt like, girl, time is passing and you're not doing nothing. The year was ending and I just felt like I was on the same level with my goals. I just want to see milestones like taking place so that I know like I'm getting to where I want to be, you know? I want to grow. I don't want to live the same life. I don't know how to say it. I don't know. I just feel like there's no growth if you're just continuously writing the same goals. Because let's say when you accomplish one thing, then you figure out the next thing to accomplish, you know? But if you're still having to still work towards that same one thing, are you going to put more stuff on your shoulders to do in order to grow? But then it's like you can't really do everything at once. So how will it even work? Even if I don't accomplish a goal, I still think of other ways I want to grow. And then now my list just keeps getting longer. But then it's like I can't really focus on one thing at a time to like give that my to nurture that for it to grow because now I just have a lot to do. So it's like, where do I put my time? It's like I can't really move on to the next step or like the next goal because now I just have so much because I haven't been able to check off the ones I had in the past. But also with 2021 that I think I mentioned, or maybe I mentioned in my other video, but I was working at my old job at the beginning of the year and I was just around people who would just complain and I'm like, well, at least you're around your family. I wasn't around my family and that made me sad because it's like I already feel like I'm not accomplishing a lot. I just want to be around people who love me and care about me, not the people who are yelling in my face because they want a table to eat. So I was stressing about work and about rude people who also at least got to be on their vacation in the first place. And they're spending time with family and I couldn't. That's comparison, but you know, it was also the truth. And then since I work so much, I would feel tired. I would feel tired to even work on my own goals. And that sucks. That feeling sucks. I would just feel so tired to work on my own goals. Trust me, the little times that I did have, I really pushed myself to do so. I still pushed myself. Like on my days off, I was still trying to wake up early and do as much as I can. But with how much I was working, it's like it just wasn't enough. That one day a week to do all the other list of stuff that I want to do for myself, it just wasn't enough time altogether. Then it's like, but now I need rest from working like a 11-hour shift. So it's like waking up early and going to bed late to do more. Like that's not enough rest for me. So I'd also feel sad that I'm not pushing myself. That would say my full potential could be anything I want, but it's like also you need rest. It's like such a weird balance because it's like you need rest, but then it's like if you don't rest, then you could do more, but will the more actually help? I don't know. But that's besides the point. That was just an example for why 2021 was, well, the beginning of 2021 was rough because it kind of offset me to like, I kind of just started late, then I was just off track the whole year. And as if you could see, like a lot of my videos for 2021 were posted like at the end of 2021. Like I had videos in February that were posted all the way in like August and September and November, and then finally like the college videos like that I filmed in August and stuff were posted in December. Like I just was behind schedule the whole time because I never got into a groove of editing, and I would film because it helped me feel better with what I was going through, but then I wouldn't have the time from working that job to actually edit, and editing was taking long and I wanted to relax on my days off, but on my days off I had to like recuperate and like clean my room and do stuff to like help my mental state and like find time to be with like friends and stuff. So I would film, but like on my day off, I just didn't really want to edit. So even during summer, I started back school. So I was working and being in school. I still couldn't find time to edit. And then when I had less hours, because now my hours were being taken up with school. So you see, anyways, I just want this year to be different. I'm going into it with a positive mindset. On the bright side, this year, I didn't cry on midnight. Rounds of applause. And I was actually worried because the day before New Year's Eve, I was sad. And then on New Year's Eve, like around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I was just like laying in bed, just staring at the wall, like just sad and overthinking stuff. And then my mom came to like ask me like, "Are you okay? Like, what's wrong?" So I kind of talked to her, and then she swapped with my dad. And then my dad came in talking to me. Yeah, I basically just talked to my parents, and then I didn't cry. I did not cry. I mean, like one, when I tell you one tear literally came out my eye, and I was like, that's it. I don't need to have a whole mental breakdown. So that's good. I didn't have a mental breakdown this year. That's an accomplishment, really is, because I really, like, you know what I'm saying? I really thought it was gonna happen again this year, but because I was with my parents, like, because literally because of my parents talking to me and my dad talking to me, that helped. Because then after that fact, we went to the living room, and then we were just all in the living room, like watching a movie, or I think we were watching a show. I think my sister had Dynasty on, but like I just like the feeling because then we were just all in the same place, just like chilling, and I just wasn't alone. And you know, the whole entire break, I was with my family. I didn't have to go to work and stress myself out. That's good. And that's another reason why I didn't end up getting a job this semester, because I was like, let me just hold off so that during the holidays I could actually be with my family. I don't want to feel depressed this January. I just want to go in with not exactly high expectations, but more so positivity, gratitude, discipline, consistency with the little things, you know. But then even now, I was telling myself, like, when you're home, you're just gonna stack up on content so that you could edit and have make sure that you don't fall behind on content in the semester, blah blah blah. I was saying all this stuff, but then I haven't really been recording because I'm not at my regular space anymore. Like even my room is not even my old room, as you could see. If you already know how my room used to look, I don't know. Even now, it's like I didn't want to be hard on myself for not filming a lot, because it's like I don't feel like I'm in my own element to film. And then also, should I be really pushing myself? I'm back home with my parents. I feel like I should be relaxing. I should actually take this as a vacation, you know? But yeah, so even though I'm not exactly following all the expectations I had for myself for break, I mean, I should be okay with still taking it easy like how I have been, because that's also beneficial too. I feel like both are beneficial, taking a break and relaxing, but somehow I'm gonna make it work for the new semester. Okay, I feel like I'm just chilling now. Is this like a gamer chair? I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to end up the episode. I'm going to wrap up the episode. I'm gonna wrap up my thoughts. I'm gonna wrap up talking because just a lot of talking. But yeah, this episode was mostly just me ranting, me expressing my thoughts and my feelings and my emotions. But yeah, like besides wanting to like share my faith and like have God speak through me to help you guys with certain things, I also want to use this podcast as a way for me to express my thoughts. The name is called Fix Your Thoughts because I know there's a lot of thoughts I have in my head or maybe other people have in their head, and I want to be able to find a way to fix the negative thoughts, Even if you can't even fix the negative thoughts, I feel like it just helps to also talk about it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm talking about it. And if I'm not talking about my feelings, then hopefully God speaks through me consistently this year, especially since I want to devote more time into having a relationship with Him and being consistent reading my Bible, that He speaks to me so I can speak to you guys. And hopefully I could also make this podcast into just an audio portion, because I tried it before. The files weren't working and I don't have I put a mic on my camera right now. Before in the other episodes, I didn't have a mic, so hopefully this works. But I don't have an actual stand-up mic. Hopefully, I could look into investing that, or look into investing with that and see how that works, so that I could have it for my YouTube channel, visual, and then an audio just for podcasts, actual podcasts. So I'm working on that for the new year. So hopefully that comes into play. I would have to figure out the technical stuff though. But honestly, I feel like if I didn't do in a visual way, I feel like I would be giving myself and yourself disjustice or disservice with just doing audio. Because when I tell you, not that I like looking at myself, but I know I'll be making some faces and some facial expressions. Okay, so I just like looking back on myself sometimes, and trust me, when I'm talking, I'm making faces, and if it was just audio, you wouldn't be able to relate and feel what I'm saying if you didn't have the opportunity to see my face when I'm talking about some things, because anyways. But besides that, I'm just trying my best to go into the new year with a positive mindset. I'm not going to stress myself out with the big picture of goals and stuff. I just want to focus on being consistent in the little things, and focus on the little things that can actually help me reach the potential that I want to reach, if that makes sense. So even though I got deep saying the world's going to end or whatever, I feel like who knows when, or yeah, who knows when it's going to happen. I feel like you just have to live your life daily like there's no tomorrow. That sounds sad, but maybe I'm just now accepting it more. I feel like you just kind of have to come to a place of acceptance with it, because maybe it could be in another 20 years. I don't know. I really don't know. But instead of being sad about the big picture and how you want to accomplish this, I've done that. I feel like it's just best to make sure every day you're just doing the little things that actually help you reach that point, because at the end of the day, you still want to go to bed thinking, okay, well, I did the stuff that I could to reach my potential that I want to reach. At least when you go to bed, you'll be able to feel like, well, I put an effort and I tried to do a little bit of the big picture, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that properly, but yeah, I'd rather go to bed with no regrets. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'm officially wrapping up this episode. Keep up with the podcast on Instagram. It's also my faith-based account now, because I just like the feelings, okay? So it's at fixyourthoughts.dm, and then new episodes for the podcast are supposed to drop every single Monday. Keep up with me on Instagram at it's.Danielle Michelle to see what I'm doing on my day-to-day basis if I'm not posting on YouTube every day. But just a reminder, you're not crazy. It's just the thoughts that might pop up in your head that's crazy. And it's needing Jesus daily to give you peace of mind. Join me in fixing our thoughts together so we could build a community of young adult Christian believers. We could talk about mindset, self-care, and life. And then everything here is centered around God, goals, growing, and glowing since day one. You are loved, but don't forget to love yourself. Danielle Michelle out. Peace.